the beginning of late January 2026, the United States carried out its largest military build-up in the Middle East since the 2003 invasion of Iraq, deploying air, naval and missile defence assets amid escalating tensions with Iran, which the United States has attributed to Iran's nuclear program, the 2025-2026 Iranian protests and the government crackdown that killed thousands of demonstrators. This video looks at the American naval assets deployed as part of US forces' launch of Operation Epic Fury. The US naval assets primarily centered around two carrier groups. The Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group 3 arrived in the Middle East on January 26, 2026 and is operating in the Arabian Sea and Sea of Oman area in support of Operation Epic Fury. The Carrier Strike Group is maintaining a distance of approximately 1,100 kilometres or 680 miles off the Omani coastline. The Nimitz-class aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln CVN-72 is home-ported at Naval Air Station North Island, California. Carrier Strike Group 3 includes the Air Defence Commander ship USS Frank E. Peterson Jr. DDG-121, an Arleigh Burley-class Aegis guided missile destroyer, home-ported at Naval Station Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. She acts as the primary defence hub for Carrier Strike Group 3, utilising advanced radar and missile systems to track and destroy aerial threats like missiles or aircraft. As the nerve centre of the air warfare fight, she has the ability to use all the air defence assets in the Carrier Strike Group to achieve their objectives. Supporting Carrier Strike Group 3 is Destroyer Squadron 21, based in Naval Station San Diego, California, comprising of two ships embarked with Abraham Lincoln, USS Spruance DDG-111, home-ported at Naval Station San Diego, California, and USS Michael Murphy DDG-112, home-ported at Naval Station Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. There are also 6 independently deployed guided missile destroyers in the Arabian Sea. USS McFall DDG-74, home-ported at Naval Station Norfolk, USS John Finn DDG-113, home-ported in Yokosuka, Japan, USS Malleus DDG-69, again home-ported in Yokosuka, Japan, USS Delbert D. Black DDG-119, home-ported at Naval Station Maryport, Florida, USS Pinckney DDG-91, home-ported at Naval Station San Diego, California, and USS Mitchell DDG-57, home-ported at Naval Station Norfolk. On board USS Abraham Lincoln is Carrier Air Wing 9. This is the list of the embarked squadrons. Quite possibly, the unsung heroes in the naval element to Operation Epic Fury are the replacement at sea ships operated by United States Navy Military Sealift Command. Currently, 4 ships have been identified. They are 2 Lewis and Clark class dry cargo ship, United States Navy ship William McLean, TAKE-12, and United States Navy ship Carl Brashear, TAKE-7, and 2 Henry J. Kaiser class fleet replacement oilers, United States Navy ship Kanawha, TAO-196, and United States Navy ship Henry J. Kaiser, TAO-187. The ships between them deliver everything from fuel, water and spare parts to food and ammunition. Without them, the fleet of warships wouldn't have been able to maintain indefinite operations. In early February 2026, the USS Ford Carrier Strike Group was notified to leave the Caribbean after it took part in a mission to capture Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro and his wife. The USS Ford Carrier Strike Group was ordered to deploy to the Middle East, which will greatly extend the carrier's 7-month initial deployment. The Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group arrived in the eastern Mediterranean Sea off the coast of Israel on 27th of February 2026. This was just the day before the Carrier Strike Group began its support of Operation Epic Fury. Operating against Carrier Strike Group 12, the USS Gerald R. Ford CBN-78, a 100,000 long tons, 1,092 foot long Gerald R. Ford class aircraft carrier, is home ported at Naval Station Norfolk and was ordered in the short term to remain in the eastern Mediterranean Sea. She has on board aircraft carrier Air Wing 8, consisting of the following squadrons. The carrier is assigned 3 destroyers: USS Winston S. Churchill DDG-81, home ported at Naval Station Mayport. She is specifically assigned as Air Defence Commander and is the primary central node for managing the air warfare defence of the Carrier Strike Group. USS Bainbridge DDG-96 and USS Mayhem DDG-72 are both home ported at Naval Station Norfolk and form Destroyer Squadron 2. The Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group is also supported by 4 independently deployed guided missile destroyers in the Mediterranean Sea. USS Roosevelt DDG-80, USS Bulkeley DDG-84 and USS Oscar Austin DDG-79 are home ported at Naval Station Rota in Spain. The 4th ship is USS Thomas Hudner DDG-116, home ported at Naval Station Mayport, Florida. Also unseen are Virginia-class fast attack submarines, which are assigned to protect the carriers. Virginia-class is the US Navy's primary advanced and stealthy submarines for anti-submarine and anti-surface missions. Although we do not know the names of the deployed Virginia-class submarines, it's likely there are 3 operating within US Central Command area of responsibility. Speculation in the media named the Virginia-class USS New Mexico SSN 779, known to operate in the Mediterranean Sea, as taking part in Operation Epic Fury. I personally think it's unlikely because the USS New Mexico docked at Portsmouth Naval Shipyard, Kittery, Maine, New Hampshire on 25th of March 2026 for an extensive overhaul to upgrade its systems and operational readiness. While an Ohio-class guided missile submarine, specifically the USS Georgia, is likely deployed in the Mediterranean, with unverified reports indicating the 560 feet long, 18,750 ton submarine docked at Suda Bay, Greece in late 2025. As seen in this video footage, the USS Georgia is no stranger to Suda Bay and is highly likely a key element in Operation Epic Fury. On the 5th of March 2026, the USS Ford Carrier Strike Group arrived at Port Said, transited through the Suez Canal and along the Red Sea. The USS Ford Carrier Strike Group positioned itself somewhere in the Red Sea along the coastline of Saudi Arabia. This strategic positioning provides defensive cover for Israel, Saudi Arabia, Oman, United Arab Emirates, Bahrain and Kuwait, but also positions the Carrier Strike Group to launch offensive operations against Iran. USS Gerald R. Ford, CVN 78, has now sailed to Crete, arriving in Suda Bay on the 23rd of March 2026. The US Navy said that its newest and most advanced aircraft carrier has pulled into port in the eastern Mediterranean Sea, removing it from a fight with Iran. The ship required repairs after a fire in the ship's main laundry spaces injured 2 sailors. The incident on the 12th of March 2026 also resulted in hundreds of sailors requiring treatment for smoke inhalation. The carrier is expected to remain in Suda Bay for a week and will receive extensive supplies. On 28th of March, USS Gerald R. Ford anchored in the port of Split, Croatia, following an Adriatic Sea transit from Suda Bay, Greece. The carrier's crew will be given shore leave. The crew are now in their 9th month of deployment, having departed Naval Station Norfolk on June 24, 2025. In the Persian Gulf, littoral combat ships USS Canberra, LCS-30, USS Tulsa, LCS-16 and USS Santa Barbara, LCS-32, are based in Bahrain. These ships left Naval Support Activity Bahrain, Myanmar, before the United States and Israel launched their joint operation against Iran on February 28th. These littoral combat ships, reconfigured to conduct sea mine countermeasures, sailed to the Persian Gulf. However, in a move that has surprised military analysts, USS Tulsa and USS Santa Barbara are being moved to the Pacific. Photographs emerged of 2 of the ships docked at Butterworth, Malaysia. They are USS Tulsa and USS Santa Barbara. The whereabouts of USS Canberra is not known. On March the 18th, USS Tulsa and Santa Barbara have moved further east and have docked in Singapore. On the 13th of March 2026, CENTCOM announced that they are deploying USS Tripoli LHA-7, an American-class amphibious assault ship, and its embarked Marines to the Middle East. The amphibious assault ship Tripoli and elements of the embarked 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, shown here boarding Tripoli November 2025, will join the Gerald R. Ford and Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Groups, cutting short the Tripoli assigned operations in the Philippine Sea. On the 17th of March, USS New Orleans LPD-18, a San Antonio-class amphibious transport dock, was spotted entering the Singapore Strait on March 23, 2026. Satellite images captured USS Tripoli and USS New Orleans moored at NDF Diego Garcia Pier. This would put the ships less than 4 days away from reaching the Arabian Sea. On the 19th of March 2026, ships from the Boxer Amphibious Ready Group ARG, consisting of USS Boxer LHD-4, USS Comstock LSD-45 and USS Portland LPD-27, along with the 11th Marine Expeditionary Group, began to depart from their home base in San Diego, California. At this point, on the 25th of March 2026, there was no official confirmation of the Boxer Amphibious Ready Group destination. but multiple news outlets are reporting the ARG is heading to the Middle East and will take 3 weeks to get there. This footage, recorded 22nd of March 2026, shows US Marine Corps F-35B Lightning II attacks Marine Fighter Attack Squadron VMFA 122, 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit, conducting deck landing qualifications on the flight deck of Wasp-class amphibious assault ship USS Boxer LHD-4 in the Pacific Ocean. On March 24th, USS Mason DDG-87 Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer, home port at Naval Station Mayport, departed Florida to begin a scheduled deployment with the George H.W. Bush Carrier Strike Group. On the 25th of March, Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer USS Ross DDG-71 departed from Naval Station Norfolk. Joining her was USS Donald Cook DDG-75. On 31st of March, USS George H.W. Bush CVN-77 departed Naval Station Norfolk. The 10th and final Nimitz-class supercarrier of the United States Navy is reported to be heading for scheduled deployment. The carrier is moving toward the European theatre and will operate in the Mediterranean to support NATO operations. However, there is much speculation that the supercarrier could be ordered to support Operation Epic Fury. On board USS George H.W. Bush is carrier Air Wing 7. This is the list of the embarked squadrons. On 1st of April, USS Rushmore LSD-47, before deployed to Sasebo, Japan, was spotted transiting the Malacca Strait. She is carrying an unknown number of US Marines who boarded the ship at White Beach Naval Facility, Okinawa. The Whidbey Island-class dock landing ship will join USS Tripoli LHA-7 and USS New Orleans LPD-18, which are now operating somewhere in the Arabian Sea. On April the 8th, 2026, the USS Gerald R. Ford CVN-78 is underway in the Mediterranean Sea. The carrier recently departed Split, Croatia, following repairs and is continuing on an extended deployment supporting Operation Epic Fury. She is currently heading towards the CENTCOM area responsibility. This would potentially bring together in the Middle East 3 super carriers, as well as 2 United States Navy flat-top amphibious assault ship carrier platforms designed to rapidly deploy US Marines and their equipment. The last time 3 US super carriers operated together for major wartime combat operations was during Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2003. Operation Epic Fury has nonetheless brought together an historic armada of warships and support vessels. Joining the carriers are United States Navy dock landing ships specialising in rapid amphibious operations by transporting and deploying Marines, landing craft and helicopters. Hidden, silent and deadly, there are very likely 4 US Navy submarines currently supporting Epic Fury operations. 3 of the submarines are the Virginia-class nuclear-powered fast attack submarine. Understandably, the names are withheld. They are utilised to protect United States Navy aircraft carrier strike groups, operating as the undersea screen, guarding against enemy submarines and surface ships. They pose a significant threat to any enemy vessels. The 4th submarine is a Ohio class, the largest ever built submarine for the US Navy. Its primary role is to remain undetected rather than act as a carrier escort. It's widely reported that submarine in the Middle East region is the Ohio-class guided missile submarine USS Georgia. One of 4 submarines of the class to be converted from carrying strategic nuclear-armed ballistic missiles, SSBN, meaning subsurface ballistic nuclear, to a SSGN, meaning subsurface guided nuclear, to carry conventional non-nuclear armed Tomahawk cruise missiles. The USS Georgia is capable of carrying 154 Tomahawk cruise missiles and adds considerable unseen firepower to Epic Fury operations. We now come to the Arleigh Burke class of guided missile destroyers. These warships are now the workhorse of the United States Navy. Here on screen I am listing the 19 Arleigh Burke class destroyers that I have identified as part of Operation Epic Fury. The Arleigh Burke class is arguably the best destroyer in the world, mostly due to its original design to be flexible in incorporating new advances in technology. There are currently 4 variants known as flights. As new ships are built, they are incorporated with the latest technological advancements. It should be noted that the first ship, USS Arleigh Burke DDG-51, was commissioned in 1991, and currently no ship has been decommissioned. The Arleigh Burke class warships, of which there are currently 75 in active service, are multi-mission destroyers loaded with 90 to 96 vertical launch system cells holding a flexible mix of anti-air, anti-ship and land attack missiles, such as the Tomahawk long-range subsonic cruise missile. The destroyers also have anti-submarine warfare called ASW capability with towed array sonar, anti-submarine rockets and ASW helicopters, and anti-surface warfare called ASUW with ship-to-ship missiles and guns. As there is no sign of the 3 Independence-class littoral combat ships USS Canberra, Tulsa and Santa Barbara, reconfigured to conduct sea mine countermeasures, it is assumed they are withdrawn from CENTCOM area responsibility due to questions over their survivability in contested environments. There is new information that USS Chief MCM-14 and USS Pioneer MCM-9, which are 30 plus years old US Navy Avenger class mine countermeasures ships, departed Sasebo, Japan in mid-April 2026. They are heading towards the Middle East to address potential mining threats in the Strait of Hormuz. This is part of Mine Countermeasure Squadron 7. These specialised vessels are designed to neutralise mines, supporting 7th Fleet operations. However, presently the US Navy on 26th of April 2026 has deployed autonomous mine countermeasure technology. The 2 Avenger-class ships for now will remain on standby in the Arabian Sea. The final ships supporting Operation Epic Fury are the replacement at-sea ships operated by United States Navy Military Seal of Command. Currently 4 ships have been identified, but it's very likely there are more. The United States Navy during Epic Fury has also used naval facilities at Laura Naval Base in Split, Croatia, located on the Adriatic Sea, Naval Support Facility Diego Garcia on the Indian Ocean, and Naval Support Activity Suda Bay, island of Crete on the Mediterranean Sea. I can now reveal the total number of United States Navy ships that we know about taking part in Operation Epic Fury is 38. Currently, there appears to be no end in sight for Operation Epic Fury. Diplomacy, however, will end the Iranian war. Thanks for watching.